Coucou. So what is ketosis? Ketosis is the ability of the body to use fats, and especially the body's own fats, instead of using glucose. So in order to do that, one is to eat less carbohydrates, and by that I mean potatoes, I mean rice, carrots, green peas, and of course breads, sugars, any biscuits, anything that actually contains sugar, and also alcohol. Alcohol do have a high level of sugar, and with the mix of alcohol, it's not a good mix for having a body in ketosis. And so basically all the green vegetables are really good for ketosis. Many of the red as well vegetables, pulses are also quite good because they have a high level of fiber. So therefore, the high content of of carbohydrates in the lentils or chickpeas or even beans will be counteracted by the fiber. So that's in small quantities, it's reasonable. So the same with wild rice, with red rice, with brown rice. White rice doesn't have so much fiber, so it's not so good. For fruit, small amount of berries such as strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, blueberries is fine, or any fruit that is low on sugars. That's also fine, maybe a handful. Protein, full fat is fine. So any meat, eggs, you can eat up to 4 or 5 eggs a day, it's not a problem. Cheeses, if you can eat dairy products, is absolutely fine as well. Cream, sour cream, anything to do with soya yogurt, coconut products, yogurt and milk is absolutely fine as well. Creme fraiche, heavy cream, anything with lots of fat is okay in reasonable quantities. Then the next session is meat. Meat is also fine, especially if it's good quality. All the products needs to be organic, ideally, or if we're talking about meat and cheeses, eggs, it has to be pasture raised and pasture finished and green grass fed, high quality meat basically. And it's absolutely fine to have the fat with it as well, because eating a keto diet is basically 75% of fats, and then you have 20% of protein and something, the rest is just split between carbs after that. So 10 to 20% of carbs, depending. It varies from person to person. It varies on hereditary. It varies on your physical activity. If you're a builder, if you work outdoors all the time, you will need a bit more carbs. And if you're a man as well, more than a woman, it depends on your age and your metabolism as well. So it's all sort of subject to experimentation. Then the next point is the good fats. So they would include avocado, olives, cheeses, but also seeds and different type of nuts, fresh creme and all those things in reasonable quantity is fine as well. And then what helps to get the body into ketosis would be to eat maybe twice a day, certainly not more than 3 times. And if you can leave a 6-hour window in between when you're going to start to eat in the day to the point to where you're going to finish it in the day. Because after the body goes for 18 hours without eating, it goes into something called autophagy, which means that the body will feed on its own damaged cells in the body, sort of damaged cells, damaged proteins, even cancerogenic cells. And in actual fact, there's lots of recent research that shows that having your body into ketosis help patient in stages 4 of cancer, prostate cancer and different sort of cancer, by just fasting or going into ketosis. So it totally cures patients if you do that. Be careful not to fast more than 3 weeks, because then the body sees more its own muscles. So it's quite dangerous. Somebody can die. So obviously, if you want to do that, you need to do it under medical supervision, and it's as fine as long as you take vitamins and supplements to make sure that the body has the nutrients that it needs. It's also very good, of course, to have your body into ketosis if one has a history or in the family, or has heart diseases, diabetes, obesity, mental health illnesses, depression. There are people who have actually totally cured those conditions, and even reversed diabetes and cancer once they start to go for a few weeks on those ketosis diets. Even cases like eczema, psoriasis, if you do it for a few weeks or a few months, and if you stay on it, even if you stay on it, once you cleared it, you don't need to be as strict, but so it can really help people do that as well. Let me think, is anything else? So the proteins I've covered. You can eat 7 cups, American-sized cups, they're quite big, of green vegetable salads. What is also important is have some vitamin B, especially B12, added to your diet, such as nutritional yeast. That's really quite helpful, and natural salt, sea salt or Himalayan salt, that helps as well to facilitate electrolytes. You will have a bit less energy for 3 or 5 days until your body actually switches from eating glucose and running on glucose to eating ketones, which is sort of your own body's fats. Because the brain, apparently research shows that the brain, the heart prefer actually to work on ketones rather than on glucose. And of course, the other thing that speeds up ketosis, if somebody eats twice a day or once a day, that also speeds up the ketosis process. And of course, you can eat larger meals and add extra fats or a bit more meat. Coffee is okay if you want to drink coffee, and tea, green tea, once you don't put in sugar and milk in it. Also, what is allowed is some water, of course, absolutely fine. Green tea, water with slices of lemon or cucumber or fruit in it, or vegetables. Vegetable juices is also fine, but in that window or period of where you can eat, where you can break your fast. And the main thing is the autophagy starts after 18 hours, so that's when the body eats its own damaged cells and damaged proteins. So if you can have stay in intermittent fasting for 18 hours minimum, that would be great, or even more, 20 hours, 22, 23, 24 hours. That would be absolutely fantastic. And maybe once or twice a month, if you can not eat at all for 28 hours or 72 hours. And then you will notice probably increasingly that the less you eat, the less you have cravings for food, for appetite, and the less carbs and sugary food you eat, again, the less you feel like eating, the less cravings you will have. And this is part of the natural process. I hope it helps. I will post on the link as well what I think, again, the most content of this video, so I hope it helps. Bye.